premiere here for Hum of the Earth. Today we're taking a look at Popayan, the quote-unquote white city. So the city's origins, why it's white, isn't simply because it looks cool. There's actually a very functional reason for its color. And this is that back when the city was inhabited by indigenous people, there was a plague of a bug. So these bugs, Nietzsche I believe they were called, would get into your feet and lay their eggs inside your feet. And it was very not pretty thing to happen to you and very itchy. But they did find out that there was a chemical in the chalk, so chalk that you would use in like on a chalkboard, would actually kill or at least deter the bugs. And that's why they started chalking up all the buildings, and hence why it became the White City. The corners of some of the buildings were not chalked in white. They were designated spots where the people with the foot condition could go and kind of scratch themselves. It's a little bit odd, but that's what it was. And they were called, the corners there were called witnesses, because they would witness the suffering that the people were going through because of the plague. So some buildings, so that they could be distinguished as being important, were not white, such as the Palace of Justice here, which is kind of a beige color. Here we have a statue of a General Jose Maria Obando, who was from Popayan. Unfortunately, his family was murdered here because he was pro-revolution, so Colombia being independent from Spain. And after his family was murdered, he fled through the tunnels underneath the city that were kind of reserved for important people, politicians and priests and stuff like that, in cases of war and the such. So Popayan has been the birthplace of 13 or 15 presidents of Colombia. It's a real president-making machine. And a lot of their estates are still here today in Colombia, but some of them have been transformed into museums, and most of them are free. So this bridge used to be the one and only entrance into the city, and it's called Humiliation Bridge because it was for pedestrians only, so the travelers coming with their oxen and stuff would have to leave them at the beginning of the bridge and then carry all of their supplies on their back. And it might not be evident in the video, but it's actually on an upward slant, so by the time they got to the entrance of the city, they were pretty tired on their knees, and hence the name Humiliation Bridge. Also, this is the only structure in the city that survived the many earthquakes that happened here in the valley in between the two Andean ranges of mountains, Cauca Valley. And there is actually a little bit of damage to the bridge, but it was actually created by the many rock concerts that happened here. I guess the band would be there and people would be watching here, and the vibrations from the loud amplifiers would actually kind of deter the bridge a little bit. So this is the Central Park here. called Caldas Park, named after this man here, Francisco Jose de Caldas, an important man for the city. He was a lawyer, a writer, and someone of important military standing, as well as a few other things. So man of many talents. So apparently these students have been here for over a week protesting lack of funding for post-secondary education. This is the cathedral here. Over here we have the clock tower, which is kind of famous for the fact that the 4 and the 5 on the clock tower are switched. This wasn't actually an error. This was done on purpose by the architect, just to make it distinctive. Probably also because he shared the belief that it's just more logical that way, because you have the V and the I, that's more numbers than just the V. But anyways, because of this quote-unquote error, or purposeful error, unfortunately the Spanish powers that be were very upset and had him executed. A different time. This building here used to be a Banco de la República, so somewhere where they used to print and produce the Colombian currency, the Colombian peso. So that's typically something that would happen in the capital city of a country. But at the time when Colombia was New Granada, it encompassed Venezuela, Panama, modern-day Colombia, and Ecuador. So it actually had two different capitals. One in Bogota, which today is the current capital, which was the capital of the northern part of New Granada, and then the capital of the southern part was Popayán. Then when that changed, and it was just Colombia as we know it now, then Bogota became the sole capital, and this building today is now a public library. Why get rid of the vault? Here's one of the estates I was talking about of a former president, Guillermo Valencia, which is now a national museum. Here we have the free bicycle rental service of the city. You just need to provide a piece of ID, and you have the bike for 2.5 hours. Pretty cool. Further evidence of the strong bicycle culture in Colombia.